Inuktitut Hamaru Inuktitut Hamaru mitaku ngasi yame aledine ne kungali
So when I was 19, in my second year of Inuit studies down in Ottawa, I started recording pop songs into my language. It was for an Inuktitut class, and to me, it was really important for the youth to see that someone musical will, go out in my way to make these songs in my language so babies and elders can understand, because a lot of babies don't speak English, or elders. So growing up, my bandmate always instilled in me that my elders have to understand what I'm saying. And he instilled in me that I can translate any song.
You're listening to musician Kelly Fraser, who hails from Canada's Arctic. My wife, who's also called Kelly, and I were lucky enough to catch Kelly Fraser over the phone while she was attending the We Belong conference in Vancouver, British Columbia. Because she was away from home at conference, there was no Skype or landline available, so the interview took place over a cell phone outside, so I do apologize for the sound quality in some parts. Kelly had such limited time that she launched right into a description of who she is. So without further ado, let's join her right there. So Kelly, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm pleased to be on your show.
One thing that's, I guess, most striking about you is that you are a musician from way up north. Can you tell me exactly what town you come from?
Okay, so my name is Kelly Fraser. I'm a singer from Sanikiluaq, Nunavut. I sing in my language. I speak Inuktitut from where I'm from. Sanikiluaq is on the Belch Islands in the Hudson Bay. It's right near northern Quebec. Our island is almost smack in the middle of the Hudson Bay. We're part of Nunavut, but we're right near northern Quebec, which almost makes no sense. But my people voted back when they were negotiating the land claim.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I'm from Sanikiluaq, Nunavut. It's sunny all year, so we don't really have that dark for the winter, like no sun. But I am from the cold. There's no trees. There's polar bears and belugas and seals, and we eat them all.
Just to clarify for a lot of my audience, some of them might be thinking, oh, she lives way up north, so she must be an Eskimo, but that word is not really used to describe you guys. Yes. In fact, it's derogatory.
I'm an Inuk woman, and I come from a land of Inuit.
So Inuk is the name of the person?
One person.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, Inuk means human.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I say, yes, I'm Inuk, in my language, I'm actually just saying I'm human. Which is like a lot of the other indigenous languages.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So everybody there is Inuk then?
Yes. I mean, not everyone is Inuit, but yes, everyone is they're Inuk. They're alive.
So,
Inuyui.
So tell me a little bit about what brought you into music. Like, when did you get started singing and making music?
So when I was 11, I watched this movie called Freaky Friday, and there's an actress, Lindsay Lohan, playing the electric guitar. And to me, I wasn't exposed to a lot of different music, so I thought that was very different and very cool. And I was like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And so I went home that night, and I told my parents, I want a guitar. And they both had jobs where I'm from. So they didn't want to just give it to me. They wanted me to work for it. So they said, well, if you go to guitar lessons and you go to guitar class, well, look into buying you a guitar. And if you get really good, like, we'll see how it goes. So I went to guitar lessons every Wednesday, and a science teacher a high school science teacher used to teach it. And yeah, that's where I learned how to sing folk songs and Johnny Cash, and Michael wrote the boat, and he's got the whole world in his hands, like all kinds of folk songs. I was always artistic as a child. I was always making poems or singing really loudly, annoying my family. And so when I got guitar lessons, I got good, and they got me a guitar. I got even better. I got an electric guitar, but unfortunately, one of my really close friends got accidentally shot.
Whoa.
So, when I was 14, 13, somewhere there, and I couldn't play anymore because it really meant, he really meant something to me. Like, he taught me, he was my role model. He had graduated from high school. He was looking to going to the military, and so I quit for a while. I didn't touch it, and I was working at the store when I was 15 at the local grocery store, the Northern, and a man came up to me and he was like, "Hey, do you have a guitar?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I was like, "It's just collecting dust." And he was like, "Well, I have a band and we kind of need a guitar." And I was like, "Well, I could lend you it." And he was like, "Well, are you interested in being a bass player?" And to me, guitar was something that really meant something to me with my friend who passed away. His name was Walter. To me, playing bass was different than playing guitar. So I said, "Yeah, I'll be your bass player. I wouldn't learn how to play." So he said, "Come over." And so that's when my band started. We were Kelly Fraser and the Easy Four. And my mother used to have a radio station when I was like way younger, like probably 9 till I was about 15, and she would play these old music.
Wow.
And that's essentially the kind of music we made, like this old rock and roll type folk music, which is kind of it's kind of our, as Inuit, we kind of have that as our kind of main genre, which mixes square dancing and instruments. So I came from that. My first album is Isuma. That was with my band. I wrote Isuma, the song, when I was 15 with my bandmate George. So we started off just me, George, and a guy named Charlie, who was a year older, and 2 years older than me. There was a guy named Jamie, and he didn't continue on, but Charlie became our drummer. And yeah, we traveled around a lot after I was 19, after those videos came out. Suddenly a lot of people knew me. A lot of Inuit wanted me to come to their town. I started putting out more and more music, and I'm on my way to recording. I'm in the middle of recording my second album. This one is more about, the first album was Isuma. I think a lot of it had to do with my culture. Mm-hmm. A lot of it had to just living in a small town. Like Isuma, it means the song Isuma. That used to be the title. That was going to be my title of the album, but I realized not everyone can say Isuma. Not even my Inuit friends can say it because they have different dialects.
Right.
So I had to shorten it to Isuma. And Isuma was so means I'm not going to think of you anymore. And in that song, I say, I'm not going to think of you anymore. I'm just going to forget you. But then I know I will see you again. I really like that song. It's about living in a small town. You date someone and you're going to see them again at the store, at the school, somewhere. So that was my first album, with talking about living off the land, talking about how proud I am, how thankful I am, talking about love songs. There's one of my favorites called Baby Ga. It's a slow song.
Baby Ga, nagliwaga, huveriara, umatiniwanga, bisimayu, naligigaku, teimanga, Isuma riara, ilaniku, bitsengi turu, giseni, nalini, sangiyo, uvanu, baby ga, uvanu.
But now, in my new album, I'm working on songs that really hit hard with reality. I feel like my first album was me, like, establishing I'm a singer. I love to make music. I love to sing in my language. I love my culture. It's all about pride. And now it's about cultural pride. It's about decolonizing. And it's I feel like it's going to be controversial a little bit because there's a song called Winnipeg on it. And I'm excited to get that out because in that song, I'm saying I lived in Winnipeg for a couple months, and I experienced some racism that I wasn't used to because I'm from a small town where a lot of us are Inuit, and down in Ottawa, I was surrounded by mostly just Inuit. And so I was hit with a hard reality a couple of years ago with racism, and so I said, well, I can't act like this doesn't affect me and my people, and so I decided I'm gonna write a song saying, Winnipeg, I'm sorry, I'm a drunkard, or I'm sorry, I'm homeless, and in the end it says mostly I'm sorry that you believe that.
Right.
I'm sorry that you think that's normal. Like, it shouldn't be. I really am hitting our biggest issues, which are suicide, systematic racism, because up north it's more expensive, but why should we have poor health care or highly expensive food when there's... So anyway, it's kind of political, but it's also empowering. Like I'm saying, I'm proud of who I am. No one can tell me I can't. There's a song where I say, I started at a young age being told I can't make the stage. So even though there's odds against me, I'll still succeed. And essentially, I want to tell the young people, because a lot of young people feel hopeless.
Hi, Kelly. It's Kelly.
Hello, Kelly.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. When you're talking about advocacy and racism and stereotypes, I just saw Angry Inuk this weekend, and I saw you in it.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
Yes, I was protesting at the anti-ceiling protest.
Right, and I thought that was great. Yeah. So I want to know if you want to talk a bit about your thoughts about the lack of representation, I guess, in politics for Inuit.
Of Inuit?
Yeah.
Well, that's a broad I think we want to make it less broad. You want to talk about the sealskin industry where I'm from?
Well, there's that, and I think in general, I think there's probably a lack of recognition or a lack of
our
care.
Rights.
For sure.
The thing is, no one took our sealing rights away. The thing was, Europe and America banned sealskin for the sake of celebrities saying, "Oh, they're so cute," you know.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't kill them. Look at how they kill them. And I'm like, they don't like that the Newfoundlanders would club the seals, but essentially that's what they do in the cow industry, like in the beef industry. They use the same method. They use a piece of nail, and then they quickly kill the cow, putting it in its head. And so, like, to us, we wonder why they do that when there's cruelty of animals everywhere,
right, exactly.
even in their own cities. And so, for us, for me to see Alethea make a film, for me to be a part of the protest, I felt like I was filling my duty as an Inuk person, as someone who's fighting for my rights. So sealskin pelts went down in the 80s when America and Europe banned it. So for my family, that meant no more food on the table, no more machines, no more hunting. Like, oh, we got to go on welfare now, and there's not a lot of jobs. So essentially, it broke our men down, and that's why I feel like not only did they go through residential school, forced relocation, slaughter of sled dogs, they had to overcome this. Where will we get money now? You know, they had to and we still haven't. Like, we still suffer with a low economy, thanks to, banning of sealskin for the sake of them looking cute instead of looking at it's an economy with people who rely on it to feed their family. Like, my mom said, like, a lot of people had the things that they needed. A lot of people were skinning sealskin, and men were hunting, and that was just the way life was. And it was a little bit more modern. And now with the sealskin pelt, that costs next to nothing. It really, the hunters still do it, but it's a lot of work, and I interviewed a hunter actually, and he's on social assistance, and I interviewed him once for an essay on food insecurity, and he says when he sells too many, they cut off his funding. They cut off his welfare.
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard living up north, and that's what I'm also saying in my songs. There's one song where I feel like that is very controversial. It's about I come from a place of drugs and alcohol, and I'm made out of steel and gold, diamonds and mold. When I say that, I mean where I'm from, people want to mine it. People want industry up there now.
Yeah.
Especially the government. And that's why I'm always fighting for my rights, singing about, telling people to vote no for the land referendum, to vote whether or not we want to sell municipal land.
Yeah, there's a major amount of hypocrisy if you look at, like you were saying, the difference here. We have
How is it any different from killing some cows?
Right, exactly.
I don't
Like
see
we're killing pigs and cows, and it's polluting the earth. It's polluting the earth, and whereas the seal industry is not polluting the environment.
No, and there's actually been a study where there's too many seals, and they're killing too many fish.
Yeah.
And then now what's going to happen? We're not going to have enough fish to eat. And then those protesters who protest against us hunting seal, which is good for the economy, good for the environment, we do it safely and we do it humane. Like, as Inuit, we don't use clubs.
Right.
We use guns, and we first kill, like shoot them on the head, and they don't feel the pain. Like, that's so important to us Inuit, is that we don't let animals suffer, and that's part of what we believe in. That's in our spirituality. That's part of who we are. We respect those around us. Animals, humans, the earth.
All right, here we go. Got my permits on. I'm going outside in the cold with my park on, and I feel alive. I'm a true Inuk. I love to eat beluga, caribou, even red meat. I'm going ice fishing into the cold. I've done it all before, but it never gets old. Living in the Arctic as an Inuk, it's in my blood, it's our people. Festivals on Easter or Christmas time, go out Scottish dancing into the night. Little kids running outside, asking your name. After a while, you're full of fame.
Yeah, I love eating seal. When I talk about home, I say, yes, I miss the food. That's what I miss the most. I miss my family the most, but up north, where I can freely eat seal, and like, if it's freshly caught, like nice and warm, I'll get a cup and have a sip of that, like fresh blood, and so it feels spiritual. It feels like I'm being who I am. I feel like a lot of Inuit feel like that. And I understand that people are weirded out that I like to eat food raw. I mean, not necessarily beef and chicken. Like, I like to eat my food raw, like seal, beluga, fish, char, caribou, reindeer. Yeah, I'll eat it raw, I'll eat it frozen, I'll eat it cooked. That's how we do it. And I understand people think it's kind of weird, like seeing these pictures of these little kids that have like blood smeared all over their mouth because they're enjoying eating seal so much.
I think it was cute. I thought that was really good that she included that in the film, because I thought it was super cute. And I've seen little kids as well using ulus, and I was really impressed.
Yeah, we teach the young to deal with knives, to deal with ulus, make them, friggin', what are those called? Like a kakivak? It's a harpoon.
Oh, okay.
We, like, kids make them, and we teach them how to use them. There's 7-year-olds that learn how to hunt seal with a gun, with their dad, and it's all done in a safe way, in a educated way, and the thing is, like, it instills pride, and also it teaches kids responsibility. You gotta be responsible for the animals you kill. You gotta pay homage, or you gotta put water in the seal's mouth to make sure the seal is not thirsty in the afterlife. Like, there's so many aspects of our culture in hunting that is vital to being proud of who we are.
Can you just tell us what your projects are right now, and what are you working on, and what's next with what you're doing?
Yes. So right now, I go to school here in Merritt, BC. I'm recording right now. I'm driving back and forth to Surrey. My producer's going to come in end of this month, and we'll start recording. So my album is the most important thing right now, most important project. The second thing is next, in the coming January, February, March, I will be traveling around Nunavut on the weekends to teach people how to make lyrics in their dialect, in their language. I get young people. A lot of the time I say all ages, And I say parents are welcome. If you have kids under the age of 8, please come with a supervisor, come with your parent. And I feel like that. So I hold these amazing workshops for 3 days, and it's full-fledged, every day, all day activities. Me and my producer come in the first day. We have a concert that night. The next day, we start the workshop, and we start at like 10 or 11 till like 5. And all we do is talk. Well, first I talk about how I grew up. I talk about the issues I face, what motivates me, and I try to motivate them. And I talk about the hard stuff. I talk about my dad's suicide, and I talk about, growing up with residential school survivor as a parent. And I say, well, we can be the change. And I always am telling them, go to school, get a job, do anything, do whatever you can. You have so much time. There's not a lot to do. And I say, reach into your culture. Like, let's drum dance. Let's throat sing. You have a throat song? Record it. We'll put it on the album. And so I do a lot of motivational speaking. I write in their dialect a song that they want and how they feel. I occasionally put in some input and some words in, but essentially it's the community song. And I do 2 songs for the younger generation and for the older generation, like kids and maybe young people and adults. And so we have a movie night the second night after a full day of recording and teaching, and my producer does the teaching of the media, like he producing the music, and I teach trying to motivate them, talking about their talents, telling them, just sing, just together. And then at night we have a movie night, and we choose an Inuit film. And then the next day we do it all over again. Instead, at night we have a feast, a talent show with prizes, a concert, and we show those 2 songs that the community made in their language. So essentially what I do is I'm trying to save the language by making songs with people in their language.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, that's about all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and learned more about Kelly Fraser and Inuit culture. I'd really like to thank Kelly for taking time out of her busy schedule to talk to us. Many of the topics she covers are serious ones that are difficult to talk about. In fact, the conference we pulled her from was all about how to better address suicide in Indigenous populations. So that cannot have made it any easier. And I really want to thank her to take time to talk about her musical and activism projects with us. I'll be providing links to her music and all the tracks used with the show notes. Remember, you can listen to previous episodes over at the podcast website, shareslicepodcast.com. You can also subscribe and leave a review of the show over at iTunes. So thanks so much for listening, and I hope you'll be back next time.